guys, welcome back. It's Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy. This week we're going to talk about car covers. As you can see, I put a car cover on the Mustang, and that's for a lot of reasons, but really part of it is just to keep it clean, right? The car sits up on this lift probably 6 or 7 months out of the year untouched. Outside of moving the R8 out, putting the lift down, starting the car up once in a while, it doesn't get driven that often, especially when the weather's not that good. So what I have done was been looking for a car cover. Actually, I've been looking for one for years. I've had a couple different ones, and so we're gonna kind of talk about what was wrong with the ones that I bought first, and then we're gonna talk about this one here. So first and foremost, there are a million different car covers out there. You can get them that are indoor only, you can get them that are outdoor only, you can get obviously crossover ones that work inside and outside, you can get ones that are waterproof and weatherproof, you can get them that are fleece lined, you can get them that are not lined, you can get them that will lock. In fact, like imagine this bottom edge. I have it tucked up on the bumper up here because I'm going to show you kind of some of the material here. But if you can imagine, right along that chrome strip here, there'd be grommets, like 3 of them, maybe one up front, one in the middle, one in the back, or something like that, where you can run a cable through them and cinch it, and it'll like suck the whole car cover on there so that it won't blow off in the wind. It's going to be most common in outdoor covers. I bought one for, if you guys remember very early on the channel, I had a 65 Mustang Coupe. It was a red one. I'd made it look kind of like a rally car, sort of Ken Block style. But the idea with that car was, not the idea with it, but the way it had to live was outdoors. I didn't have room in the garage. Even though I didn't have the R8 yet, I didn't have a lift. So the 68 sat in here along with my wife's car, and occasionally, the car shuffle happens. And so that car moved in and out of the garage a few times. It was in the garage exclusively for a while. I used to have the 68 actually parked sideways right here before the lift was there. I had it parked sideways here, and then on this side, I had enough room for 2 cars to pull in through the garage door and park normal. So it was still kind of a 3-car garage, but the functionality of it was really tight. I had to walk all the way around the car to get to the other cars. It didn't work well. So for a while, I had both cars in here. The long and short of it was that wasn't going to be a long-term solution. I did end up buying the lift while I had the red car, but it didn't get assembled and installed until I did the epoxy floor, which didn't happen until I sold that Mustang. In fact, some of the proceeds of that Mustang essentially reimbursed myself for the floor and the lift. So because that car did spend time outside, I bought a universal car cover. Now, I bought it on Amazon, I believe. I searched for, Ford Mustang, 1965, outdoor car cover, waterproof, weatherproof, whatever. I don't remember the keywords that I used, but I found what I thought to be a pretty good car cover for a very reasonable price. And I want to say I paid $30 or $40. And I thought, you know what, if it fits the car and it just protects it, awesome. So I get it, I open it, I unwrap it. It appears to be just fine, but it's not really lined. I would say it just was kind of an outer material, which did sort of appear waterproof, but I knew it wasn't going to be that amazing. And it was kind of rough on the underside, so I didn't really want it to scratch the paint and everything. So that very same year, and I'm trying to remember the time of the year, I want to say it was April, I took the 68 to a car show. And the weather was supposed to be a little bit dicey. They'd forecasted rain later in the day, but sometimes the car shows run into the afternoon. So I took the car cover, threw it in the trunk of the 68, went to the car show, lived my life, all was well. And right as the car show was getting close to ending, the clouds opened up and it started to rain. So just like most every other car owner there, some left, some just drove away. But those that stuck it out opened their trunk, pulled out their car covers, and did what they had to do. So I did the same. And this was several years ago. It was way before the hard top was on the car. Truth be told, I don't even have a soft top on the car. I do have the frame in there, but the soft top fabric, canvas, whatever it is actually on a shelf on the other side of the car. One of these days I do need to do it, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Point is, I don't have a top on this car during this car show, so it starts to rain. I get the car cover out, I put it on there, and I think all is well. So I do that. I walk away from the car. I'm socializing under some cover. You know, it's held at a local brewery, and so I go inside. You know, I grab a beer and a pizza or something like that. I don't know. And long and short of it is, the rain eventually stops, so everybody goes back outside and is uncovering their cars. Well, what I thought to be waterproof was not. The interior of my car was absolutely soaked. I had standing water on the driver's seat and on the passenger seat. It was bad. So, you know, I run inside, grab some paper towels out of the restroom, and I'm drying everything as best as I can. But at this point, the car show is now over and people are starting to leave. So I basically drive it home, pull it into the garage, go inside, grab some towels, and I towel dry the entire interior. Fortunately, there was no like standing water or anything in the carpet. Everything was okay. Most of the water accumulated on those seats somehow, whatever. But point is that car cover was not waterproof. It wasn't outdoor proof at all. It would have protected the car from wind and debris, you know, dust and dirt, maybe some leaves and things. But it wasn't what it was advertised. And, you know, I didn't feel like I got ripped off because, again, I paid 30 or 40 bucks for it. It wasn't a high quality one. I knew that. But my other gripe with it was that it was totally generic. It wasn't form fitting. It wasn't snug. It fit the car, and there was, you know, some loose areas. And even when I had it parked outside covered, if we had a big gust of wind, it would blow a corner off, and I'd have to go back out there and, you know, do it again, tighten it down, not tighten it down, just, you know, recover the part of the car that got uncovered. And that's why it had those grommets, and that's where you could cinch it down and tighten it and get it to fit the way you wanted it to. I never went to that level because I was uncovering the car regularly because I'm working on it and it's a project car, and also I didn't want it to sit there forever. I wanted to actually finish the car so I could sell it. So when I sold that car, I included the car cover because I thought to myself, I'm never going to use it on this car again. You know, it didn't damage the paint. It wasn't, you know, my initial worry was the interior was the inside of that cover was a little rough. It ended up being just fine. It wasn't a problem. Didn't do anything to the paint. All was well. But fast forward, you know, 3 or 4 years now, and I still don't have a cover for this car. And kind of my reluctance the last 2 years of finding a cover was really the fastback. You can see the fastback roof is on underneath that cover. I didn't want, let me start again. I wanted a cover that was more form-fitting, that was designed for a 68 Mustang. But I didn't want to buy one that was for a fastback until I had my fastback roof done. I also didn't want to buy one for a coupe or convertible because I knew someday when I have the fastback roof done, it's not going to fit right. So I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited some more. And then when I got the car back late in the fall with the fastback roof on, I thought, okay, now's the time. So I went on Amazon. I scoured the internet. I ended up ordering it from Amazon, but I looked everywhere. And, you know, my key search was really 1967, 1968 Mustang fastback car cover. And, you know, then I got to thinking more about it because there's a million of them. This is a 68 that's been cloned into a Shelby. Now, the Shelbys have kind of an extended front end. There's the headlight buckets and the hood extend further than a factory Mustang would. This also has the Shelby spoiler on the back side of it, you know, the little duck fin tail, whatever you want to call it. And again, I wanted to make sure that the car cover was going to fit. So I ended up changing and revising my keyword to, you know, 68 Mustang fastback Shelby car cover. And that did narrow the searches down. You know, they still range from a custom one clear up to like $500 for a car cover, you know, down to generic ones that say they fit a 68 fastback Mustang Shelby converter or Shelby Mustang. I didn't want a generic one again. I'd been through that before. I didn't want to chance it. You know, it was what it was. And so I opted for a little bit nicer, but still not the most expensive option, which is this beautifully fitting, great material. It's like a spandexy, stretchy material. Here, I'll show you. But it's flexible. I can pull it down. It's great. It tucks nicely. It does have an elastic band all the way around. So you can see it's like tucked under the back bumper. There's no strings, there's nothing. It's literally just a fabric-y or a spandexy fabric that stretches and kind of molds to the car. And it is soft lined on the inside, so there's not gonna be any cuts or scrapes or anything in my paint from this, even on the seams. The seams are what apparently appears to be only on the outside. You can see the seam on the inside, but the way they stitched it or however they did it, there's no rough edge or anything that's gonna touch the paint or scratch the paint. So I felt really good about this. The reviews were really good. They show it on a 68 Fastback, which was incredible to me because that's really what I wanted to see. I didn't want to buy something that wasn't designed for the car. Again, been there, done that. And there's a million generic ones out there and they're selling them as if they're for a certain car. So certain reviews I was able to read, and for example, one might say, fit my 68 Fastback, but was generic, wasn't designed for this car, right? Or doesn't have mirror pockets, or the mirror pockets didn't line up, or there's a million different things that can go wrong when you buy a universal, whatever it is. So again, I was really specific in my searches. I found this cover, I bought it, crossed my fingers that it was gonna fit well. Sure enough, it came, and now it's on the car. Again, I untucked that corner just to show you guys some elasticity in there. Normally that corner would be tucked down and it essentially covers, again, more than half of the wheel. It's gonna keep the car dust free. We get a lot of wind. So if you guys imagine my house, we have kind of an alley behind. We're not facing the street when I'm at my garage door. We have an alley between us and the homes behind us, and that's where all the driveways are. Well, the way the alley runs north and south, whatever the reason is, there's like a wind tunnel through here. So I am forever sweeping my garage out. There's always dust and leaves and stuff that blow in. And I spend a lot of time in my garage, so my door is up a lot. So that's really why I wanted the cover. Also, this might come as a shock to some of you guys, but I'm a pretty modest person. I don't necessarily, when the garage door is up, I don't necessarily want random people driving through my alley or walking through my alley and poking around, right? If they don't know what's under the cover, they'll just do their thing. But if they see the Mustang, generally it's the racing stripes that catch their eye. I can't tell you how many times I've had random people walk up my driveway while I'm in the garage and they want to have a whole conversation. I love it, but I hate it, if that makes sense. I really do enjoy talking about the cars. But at the same time, usually if I'm in my garage doing something, it's because I'm trying to do something. And so these distractions and things hopefully will subdue now that I've got this car under a cover. But with that, I'm also thinking about doing the same thing with my R8. The R8 car covers are same thing. They're form-fitting. I can buy the exact same color. I just black one. I can get it that fits just as nice or nicer. And it's actually a little bit cheaper, which is awesome. I don't know why it's cheaper, but it is. And so let's talk about the cost for a second. I talked about that generic one that I bought years ago for like 30 bucks or 40 bucks. Every once in a while, I'll see them on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And again, these are the generic ones, but car covers generally cost 40 to 50 bucks anymore for a real generic one. And if you were to go to Walmart, even their generic ones, they're just size A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, or whatever it is. And then on the back, there's a list of cars that it might fit. Even those generic ones are like 60 bucks. And so the cost of these car covers has gone up fairly dramatically. And I don't really know why, but they have. And so anyway, this one here, again, I opted to not get a color matched one. They make them that are exactly the color of your car. You can even do racing stripes or a big logo on the hood or whatever. I opted to not do any of that stuff because it sits on top of my lift. If I got a big Shelby snake logo or something on the hood, nobody'd ever see it. So it just wasn't worth the extra money. This cover cost me $120. And again, this is on Amazon, easy to find. And again, the car that they showed on the ad was a 68 Shelby. So I knew it was gonna fit the extended nose. Now for the R8, I could buy the exact same cover from the exact same seller and it's only $99. So I might do that one of these days. I might order myself a cover for the R8. I don't know, because I do drive it regularly, even in the winter. If the roads are clear, there's no snow on the ground, no cinders on the ground, I'll drive it once in a while. It does sit, and that's, the nature of where we live. But I do drive it from time to time, and I don't really want the hassle of uncovering it and recovering it regularly. It's one thing if I'm doing it a couple times a year, but I don't want to do it a couple times a month. So I'm on the fence about getting the cover for the R8, but that's kind of where we're at. So that's all I got for you guys this week. I wanted to just share that with you. I thought that was a cool update. I've actually had it in the box for like 2 months. I've had the car cover for quite a while. Life's just been busy, and as you guys probably, maybe you're not aware, but the last couple of videos have been posted late. One was I think on a Saturday, and one was maybe on a Sunday, something like that. I really try to put these out every Friday, so I apologize for that, but life has been busy and hectic and very, very full. So that is, again, that's all I got for you guys. Comment down below, let me know, do you have a car cover? Do you like car covers? Would you ever own a car cover? Yay or nay? That's okay. I guess, again, if it's something where you're taking it on and off regularly, you may just say, I would never use a car cover. You might also say, yeah, you know what? I have an antique car of some sort that actually is parked outside and I do have a tarp over it. Have you ever thought of getting a custom fit car cover or what? So let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And of course, most importantly, remember, may every investment you make be a good one. Till next time.